Welcome back to Askewed Reviews. And since it's still the month of October, we are still doing some nostalgic Halloween specials. And today we are doing the 1979 Raggedy Ann and Andy in The Pumpkin Who Couldn't Smile. Here is your trivia question for today. At the end of the special, who do Ralph and Aunt Agatha dress up as for trick-or-treating? The answer will be at the end of this video. So at the beginning of this special, we find out that it's Halloween and we meet Raggedy Ann, Raggedy Andy, and Raggedy Arthur. We also meet a very sad pumpkin who was not chosen for the day of Halloween. Now the pumpkin isn't the only one who's sad. While most of the other kids in the neighborhood get to go trick-or-treating, Ralph does not. And that's mainly due to his Aunt Agatha, who hates and despises the holiday. So our Raggedy trio decides that the only way that they can make both parties happy is by bringing the pumpkin to Ralph. So the real question becomes, can they get the pumpkin back before Halloween is over? And can they convince Aunt Agatha to have a change of heart? This special was written and directed by Chuck Jones. This is actually a sequel to another holiday special, Raggedy Ann and Andy in the Great Santa Claus Caper. Now, in case you're not aware of who Raggedy Ann is, in 1915, Johnny Gruelle, who was a cartoonist and illustrator, actually made a doll for his daughter, and this inspired him to make a children's book series as well. Then, in 1920, he created Raggedy Andy, who was introduced as her brother. Also, when speaking of Raggedy Ann and Andy, if you want to see a really messed up animated movie, check out Raggedy Ann and Andy, A Musical Adventure from 1977. Now, when it comes to Raggedy Arthur, the skateboard-riding dog, his first appearance was in the Christmas animated special, and he actually only appears in the two holiday specials when it comes to an animated appearance. I also can't help but wonder if he was partially the inspiration for the character of Poochie the dog on The Simpsons. Now, the character of Raggedy Ann is voiced by June Foray, who is mainly known for doing voices like Rocky the Flying Squirrel, Cindy Lou Who, Grammy Gummy, and Magica De Spell, along with many others. She actually also does the voice of Aunt Agatha, but it says in the credits that that's voiced by Mrs. Hobart Donovan. This was actually a reference to her late husband, named Hobart Donovan. Now, the voice of Raggedy Andy is done by Dawes Butler, who primarily worked for Hanna-Barbera. You probably know him as the voice of Yogi Bear, Huckleberry Hound, Snagglepuss, Quick Draw McGraw, and Elroy Jetson, along with many others. The voice of the pumpkin is done by Les Tremaine, who is primarily known as being a well-known radio host. So when it comes to the Halloween special, Raggedy Ann and Andy in The Pumpkin Who Couldn't Smile, this one I feel unfortunately does not really stand the test of time. It is still a little fun to watch, and I'm sure that kids really do enjoy it still. And it does have its good moments, especially because there's a couple really awkwardly creepy moments with Raggedy Ann and Andy, but still, I unfortunately have to give this one a 2 out of 5. Now, as for the trivia question from the beginning of this episode, at the end of the special, who do Ralph and Aunt Agatha dress up as for trick-or-treating? Ralph dresses up as a pirate, and Aunt Agatha dresses up as a witch. I hope you enjoyed this episode of Askewed Reviews, and if there's any other specials or movies you'd like to see get a review, go ahead and mention them in the comments.